Hello there, welcome to In My Opinion for BloodRayne 2 Revamped. We catch up Rain, who's still working with Brimstone, and now has a new partner named Severin, with her main mission after she took out her asshole father, Kagan, is cutting down the rest of her evil vampire family tree at all costs. During this process, she discovers that a certain sect of her family is planning something big that can possibly threaten the whole world. So it's up to Rain and Severin to stop them, and of course horribly kill them all in the process. The last game's story wasn't bad, but this one is an improvement, mainly because we get to see more personality from our cast of characters. Rain gets even more time to shine in this one, as she has more lines and her back and forth be it with Severin or the villains is entertaining, and she's still a badass here. The villains also get more screen time, and you even get to see them interact with each other and how fucked up they are. I will say the ending is beyond disappointing, since it does set up some big stuff for part 3, but sadly that never happened. Just like the first game, this is an action hack and slash, just everything is more tightened up. Rain still has our iconic double blades, though instead of the simpler random melee attacks from the last game, you have a combo sheet now, letting you combine kicks and slashes to take out those in your way. There's even back and side movement while locked down that lets you do extra attacks that can be rather helpful. Of course, if you find yourself in a bind in combat, you can suck some blood for health and still use an enemy as a meat shield while doing it. Rain is still packing heat, or in this case, deadly blood. At the beginning of the game, you'll find dual pistols known as dragon pistols. These shoot out blood bullets, and this is the gun you'll be using through the whole game. And while that sounds dull, the game does give you new blood bullets as you make progress through the game. This will make your pistols basically turn into an Uzi, shotgun, shoot flame bullets, sticky grenades, and even a fucking rocket launcher. And you can switch to these on the fly. So as you can see, they know how to keep these guns interesting, though I wish it would change its looks when you use certain bullets. I actually found the guns pretty powerful. And the way they kind of balance this is they made it that the gun runs on blood, and you have to refill them with the enemy's blood by doing an execution, since if they are empty and you use them, your health will go down. So you have to make a choice in certain situations. Do I suck for health or ammo? Rain still has them weaknesses as a Dampier, so the sun and water still sting a bit, but she does have much better powers this time around. You have base powers like seeing your enemies and surroundings better, buffing your attack power, and semi-slow mode that feels kind of useless like the first game. However, as you make progress through the game and beat tougher enemies, you gain more powerful abilities that are basically enhanced versions of your base ones, with 3 powers in each section. So the next version of a certain power allows you to send out a ghost version of yourself to suck enemies while still being able to move and fight. The second version of the power buff is basically like Rain's blood range move from the first game, and it's just as helpful. Even the slow-mo eventually becomes useful once you get the second version, which slows down enemies and not you as well. And the ultimate version is time freeze. Of course, these have a meter since otherwise you would just be a god. The meter is the blue one under your health, and the way to refill this is by doing devastating looking executions while sucking the enemy. And there are a few different animations you can pull off depending on what you press and where you grab. The hook from the first game is back, but its use is very different than just get over here tactics. You can now snag enemies and fling them in multiple directions. Not only is this good for a quick daze, it can also disarm enemies if they got a weapon. The hook also comes into play for the game's new feature that injects violence with puzzles, which is not a bad combo. For example, garbage truck in the way, well maybe we can feed it some flesh and it will explode. Run into a locked door but there's a fuse box next to it, well maybe we chuck some enemies and electrocute them, the door will open up, and so on. These aren't super complicated puzzles, but I do like how they work and look. This time around we have a leveling system, which to be honest, I never noticed when I used to play this game a lot back in the day. First we got leveling up your health and power bar, and as you can see there's like this black object on your meters. This goes up every time we do an environmental kill, like the ones in the puzzles, and there's a decent amount of those objects around the levels and non-puzzle moments. Even tossing people off a very high place can help. The other level up system is with your guns, and all you gotta do is use them and the meter for your weapon upgrade will increase. There's 3 upgrade levels for each gun, and each level will increase your gun damage and ammo count. These 2 upgrading systems help you keep your killing creative and gives you a great sense of progression, as you do feel yourself become stronger, especially with the guns. Rain is much more acrobatic this time around, as while in the first game you had some simple platforming and sticking on walkways. This time around they added things like wall hopping and swinging to get around. I felt these worked pretty well and added a little something fun to break up the combat moments. She can also bend and shoot while climbing poles, and while this does look cool, it's not very practical. What is practical is now you can grind on poles and extend your blade, slicing enemies while you grind. After you beat the game, there is a new Game Plus option if you want to run through it again, this time before your powers and guns leveled up. There are also multiple costumes you unlock for Rain, like a cowgirl, suit of armor, or a schoolgirl outfit. You can also pick whatever level you want to start at. I also forgot to mention that there's some secret spots in the levels that lead to a fountain of blood that fully restores your health and blood ammo. Some are kind of right in front of your face when you use your vision power, and others are hidden and might need you to explore a bit more. Yeah, you can tell they got a much bigger budget for the sequel. Everything just looks all around more detailed. Just like the first game, we got a good amount of level diversity, from mansions to a park with an aquarium. The character models are nice and the designs look great, especially Rayne's, and the villains ain't no slouch either. The violence has been turned way up with the blood spraying like a fountain, making the kills feel much more satisfying, especially the executions. Rayne's voice is still the same, which is a good thing, as Laura Bailey still does a great job. And the voice work for everyone else is overall enjoyable as well. We also got more cutscenes this time around that uses the in-game engine, as well as some higher level CG ones, though there's only like 2 or 3 of those. I will say sometimes the voice audio can be a tad low, so I would suggest increasing it a bit. People have said that the PS4 version had problems while playing on the PS5 when it launched, but I can say that's fixed, with the only odd visual glitch being a tiny square popping on the upper left side of the cutscenes. But that can be fixed by making those full screen by just going to the settings. So yeah, besides that, no bugs or crashes and the game ran smoothly.
Right under your nose too, wasn't it?
Yes, and how is our Mr. Severin? He's a lucky man. I ensured that he dreams of me every night.
So that's why you gave up sleeping. How's it going for you?
Oh, infinitely well. I'm about to become a sort of a goddess. Something glorious is going to happen. Yes, Mother, at once. I'm afraid I must take my leave, but why don't you come see for yourself? We can catch up on old times.
Attend me, De Hester.
Sundown.
Was that who I think it was?
Oh, you heard that? Your former ball and chain, but we still haven't finished our heart-to-heart. Did you want to talk? I could have put her on.
No, thank you, no.
As I already mentioned before, this game is a big improvement from the first one, which was already a good time. It improved on the visuals, mechanics, and added some extras like the kill puzzles, which all led to a really fun experience. It's just really sad we never got that third game that this one was building up to, as this team just kept getting better. It took me around 7 hours and some change to complete the game, and when it comes to replay value, there's a new game plus, and your new costumes that you unlock after beating the game. This remaster is a great way to play part 2, and if you enjoyed the first entry and want more, just really improved, then this is an easy recommendation. And if you're new and want to just jump in with this one, then that's fine too. Especially if you like bloody action games with a badass female lead. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.